Let me, okay, we're live.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, hello guys, good morning guys, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, what time you're watching this. It's Drew and Terry Edwards here from MakeMorePlacements.com, where we help recruitment search owners make more placements for higher fees and less work and fewer headaches. And welcome to this week's live show. What we're going to be talking about today is the blindingly obvious secret recruiters use to work less and earn more, and how to directly apply it to your recruitment or search business. But before we get into that, just a bit of housekeeping first of all, or commitment from us, just to let you know that we're going to be going live with a free mini training designed to help you grow your recruitment and search business. Live here in the Make More Placements Facebook community. We're going to be doing that every Wednesday morning for the foreseeable future. So make sure that you tune into that. If you're listening to the recording of this anywhere else, other than out inside the Facebook group, make sure you go ahead and join the Facebook group so you don't miss out on live trainings going forward. But yeah, I think that's about it. Terry, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, if you just tell everybody the name of the Facebook group if you're listening to it outside the Facebook groups, and apply to join the Facebook group, and so you don't miss out on future views.
Yes, that's the Make More Placements community. You can join, search via Facebook. Okay, so awesome. So today we want to talk about the blindingly obvious secret recruiters use to work less and earn more, and how to directly apply it to your recruitment or search business. Before we sort of get into what it is, Terry, can you just sort of, for anyone listening, paint the picture of what your business could look like or might look like if you're not applying this, to your firm at the moment?
Yeah, I think in a nutshell, you end up working incredibly hard for very little return. You end up working long hours. You end up sacrificing quality time with your friends and your family. Instead, you're sacrificing that time because you're spending so much time at work. In some cases, we talk to recruitment and search business owners on a daily basis, and one of the implications of that is you kind of fall out of love with the whole industry, because for the majority of recruitment and search business owners, when they set up their own business, they had this dream of what the business was going to look like, and they appreciate that it was going to be hard work, but at times they didn't understand or appreciate that the way they're doing things doesn't make it enjoyable, because in some cases they're working 10, 12 hours a day excuse me, just to get things done. Sometimes they're working their butt off if they've got a team. And in many cases, recruitment and search business owners saying, well, what really pisses me off is that I'm working my butt off to pay for the underperforming members in my team. Now, surely you didn't set up in business to do that. And all that happens is you just work harder, but you get lesser reward. And for many recruitment and search business owners, if they were to calculate what their hourly rate is, they'd probably look at it and think, do you know what? I'd probably be better off doing a lesser job and getting that kind of hourly rate without the hassle. And as I said, when you set up in business, that wasn't the big goal, to work like that. Does that seem pretty fair, Drew?
Yeah, I think just to add to that, like when you speak to recruitment and search business owners, especially in the early days, I think when you first start a business, it's all about how hard you work in the early days. It's about, you have to hustle. It does involve some late nights, it does involve working extremely hard. And I think, that's fine to sort of get you up your first six figures, but then there comes a point where working harder or hustling more or, pushing harder isn't the answer. And I think people that don't sort of make the evolution, evolve away from that, as you said, end up working, longer and longer hours and less reward. And, even if they grow their business, they don't grow it profitably. They end up with, it could even be a big business, but the profit margins are really, really low. Whereas, what we find is the people that move away from that, they're still able to grow their business, but they're able to do it with high profit margins, working less and earning more money as well. So Terry, again, before we dive into secret, what can it look like for a business when they get this right, when they're employing this idea into their business?
Well, ultimately, what you will have then is a business, rather than the majority of recruitment and search business owners right now, they have a job. So I think one of the biggest differences, if you think of a multinational supermarket and you think of the head or the CEO of that supermarket. Now the CEO of that supermarket doesn't have to get behind the counter to serve the customers with the groceries, but they can still earn a very good living because what they're doing is that they're driving the business. Whereas an owner of a local store is behind the counter every single day. The owner of the local store gets up at the crack of dawn and opens the store at 5:30, 6 o'clock, even earlier in the morning. And then will spend most of the time behind the counter. And if they're not behind the counter, they're probably in the storeroom because they've now employed somebody if they get a bit bigger, but they're still in the storeroom on the shop floor, stacking the shelves. That isn't a business, that's a job. And ultimately, everybody, when they set up, they want to create a business, and it's dead easy to fall into where you have nothing more than the job. So ultimately, what we're going to share with you is how to create a business. And one of the criteria for it is that with a business, your personal income is not dependent on your personal billings. Whether you bill or not, you're still going to make earn a very good income. That's when you've got a business rather than the job. Does that explain it, Drew?
It does, and this is a process that we take all our clients through, all the recruitment search managers we help. We take them through this process when they join one of our programs, and without fail, it gets them. It's one of the fastest ways to get results from their business. And the secret really comes down to a word that we call filtration, right? So filtration. Filtration basically means the process of filtering, and where it applies directly to your business is, I think in the early days, every problem that you have in your business, you as a business owner, you try and solve it with more, right? So you want more revenue, therefore you believe it means you need more job orders, more clients. You've got more clients, you need more consultants to help fill the roles. Everything looks like a more, pushing harder. What filtration actually says is, rather than always going for more, as well as doing that, alongside doing that, we also need to filter out the non-profitable or the less profitable tasks, roles, whatever it happens to be, and actually do less and then more, right? So we want to, as well as looking for one of the paths to growth isn't just about more, it's about filtering. How can we get better job orders? How can we move from contingency to exclusive or exclusive to retained? How can we, rather than doing more work and pushing harder, what are the key most profitable activities? How can we do less of the non-profitable and more of the higher profitable activities? Rather than more consulting, how can we filter out the ones that aren't performing and bring in more top performers or get the most out of the performance we have, right? And anywhere you can in your business, all over your business, you want to be looking at how you can filter the process, how we can optimize, get rid of the waste, and do more of the more profitable tasks. Terry, anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, I kind of endorse what you said there. So most recruitment and search business owners, when they set up on their own, they have this image or this fantasy that they're going to set up this business and they're going to bring in consultants, and these consultants are going to perform, and eventually they're going to be very wealthy, they're going to sell the business or whatever. But here's a fact, by the way: the majority of recruitment and search consultants that you bring into your business will not deliver. The majority being 70–80%. So most of the consultants you bring in are not going to deliver. So the question to ask is, do you need more consultants to get to where you want to get to, or do you need better consultants to perform at a higher level? Another classic example, Terry, if I can just have more meetings with hiring managers, I'd do more business. Again, look at that. Do you need more meetings, or do you need more quality meetings with hiring managers who are in the market for what you do? Because what's the point of having, let's say, 20 telephone meetings with hiring managers? And you may argue, well, it's only one a day. But if 15 of those aren't even in the market for what you do, what's the point? Would it not be better to have, let's say, 10 meetings with hiring managers who are in the market for what you do? Do you really want more job orders, or do you want more quality job orders where your chances of delivery are substantially enhanced? And Drew talked about the contingent and the retained model. The facts are, the average contingent recruiter will only fill between 10 and 40% of the job roles they work on. 40% at the high end. That means that most of the time you're working, you're not going to get paid. If you want to work on a retained basis, you get paid upfront every single time. Now, you may only work on 2 jobs each month, but you're going to get paid upfront every single time. So ultimately, all the time you're working, you're going to get paid. And one thing that we haven't really touched on here, Drew, is that the one thing that you can't replace is time. So you're saying, just work harder. There is a limit. If you're just going to put more hours in, there are only 24 hours in the day. There's only 86,400 seconds in a day. And once it's gone, it's gone. You can never replace it. So relying on just putting in more time clearly isn't the answer, because there is a limit to that. And it is about filtering, looking at what you're doing and filtering it so you can just do it better. So it's not necessarily more, but perhaps better quality is probably, so better quality meetings, better quality consultants, better quality job orders, better quality clients who value and respect you, rather than the client that says, yeah, tell you what, if you know anybody, send over their CVs or resumes to me. That's not a quality client. So it's all about quality rather than more.
Yeah. And just to give you a few sort of real life examples of this, we're working with a recruitment business owner in the UK at the moment called Michelle. So we was on a group call either last week or the week before, and we shared on a group call that she, since working with her, she dropped 75% of her existing clients. So actually got rid of. People always think that we're always focused on bringing new business in. We do a lot of that, but she actually got rid of 75% of her existing business. But currently in August, in the middle of the pandemic, she's on track to have a best ever August in 13 years of business, because she hasn't just got rid of, 75% of clients, she's replaced them with higher quality clients. So at the moment, she's working less, but still going to have one of the best ever revenue months, right? This is, again, because of the process of filtration. So, with your clients in your business, what can you get rid of? We speak to recruiters who, they sort of beat the chest talking about how many clients they've got or how many job orders they're working on, but a lot of the job orders they're working on aren't actually profitable. So all it means is that they're working extremely hard, but they're not actually going to get the reward. So if you don't know how much it's going to cost you to fill a placement, we can't always believe that more is better, right? We have to be filtering out, looking for higher quality wherever we can. Terry, does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. And just going back to Michelle, I just want you to make a note of something that Drew said that Michelle shared with us. And let me repeat it. She had a best ever month last month. Sorry, yeah, best ever month. This month.
On target.
Yeah, and in revenue in 13 years. This is during the pandemic, by the way. But again, she went for quality rather than quantity. I think that's a really important point to make. This is during the pandemic, and most of our clients, their businesses grew during the pandemic, but they were doing things differently to what the majority of recruitment and search business owners are doing. And the thing I just want to touch on very quickly is that you've made a really good point there about the cost per placement. If you're at the low end in terms of entry-level recruitment, if you don't know your numbers and you've got consultants who, when they make a placement, it actually costs you, let's say the placement fee rather is, let's say it's 3,000 or 4,000 of your local currency. But if you look at your numbers and actually the cost per placement, if they only do one placement that month, as an example, you've actually lost money on it. And again, you didn't set up a business to make placements that ultimately you're going to lose money on. Because again, it's about the quality rather than the quantity. I can't emphasize this enough. Another one of our clients, Darren, when he first joined us, he used to have lots of job orders. And he admits that he wasn't filling most of them. And one of the things he was doing as well, he was relatively cheap. I think he was at 12%, because his attitude was, and this is not uncommon, this attitude, if I have lower fees, I'll just get my foot in the door. And I think intellectually, you kind of think about it, think, yeah, that makes sense. If I'm just a bit cheaper, I'll get my foot in the door. But all you're doing is you just position yourself as a cheap recruiter. Now, Darren works on less job orders at substantially higher fees. I think his average fee now is 25%. Rather than working on contingency, where he was, again, working his butt off. And he'll be the first to admit that his family suffered for it, because he's getting all these job orders and working them and hardly ever seeing his family. He now only works on the retained basis. So he only works with a client or a hiring manager that says, look, I've got some skin in the game in this. I'm committed to filling this role as you are. So he's working on substantially less roles now than ever before. And in the first 6 months of this year, again, I want to repeat, during this year, he's generated more revenue than he has done in any other previous year he's been in business. Just let that sink in for a minute. He's now generated, in the first 6 months of this year, he's generated more revenue than any other previous years, because he's gone for the quality rather than the quantity. Anything to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, I think, again, just to hammer the point home, you need to stop thinking in terms of more all the time. If you're a recruitment or search business owner, the answer isn't always more. It's a lot easier, a lot faster, a lot simpler to get results by looking at, actually, what can we get rid of? What can we take off our plate? And it could be, to do with, clients, could be to do with, type of job orders you're working on. As two examples we've given already. Speaking to another client we've got called Dinsdale just yesterday, who, one of the things he's filtering is actually activity, the activity that he's doing day to day, because he was finding that in his delivery, when he won business, when he got clients on, he was spending so much time on, admin tasks effectively to deliver one particular assignment. So he's looking there, where can I filter out activity? And that means either, getting rid of it completely if it's not needed, or it could mean outsourcing it or offloading it to a team member. But I think you as the owner of the business, you as the CEO, you as the person pushing your business forward, filtration is critical. What can you get rid of? What can you get off your plate? How can we optimize what we're already doing? So we're not necessarily looking at how can we do more. We're looking at how can we do it better. And I think the more that you employ this into your business, the more you implement this, you'll get quicker results, better results, higher revenue, higher profits. But with, the key thing here is with less work, it involving less of your time, less stress, more time of your family, which, if you think about, I don't know about you, but the majority of recruitment search firm owners that we speak to, they come into the business for freedom. That's the one thing they want. The one reason they set up their business is for freedom. Now, everyone has their own picture of what that looks like. But I think for most people, it doesn't involve less time with your family or longer hours in the office. It means the opposite, right? More time with your family, more time doing the things that you enjoy. And I think somewhere along the line, somewhere along the journey, that gets lost. Because, you have to work hard to get things going. You have to push harder, work harder. And you sort of fall into this trap of, you always want, you're ambitious, so you want more. And if you don't evolve from thinking that wanting more and getting more has to involve doing more, if you don't evolve away from that, you'll always be in this never-ending cycle, this trap where actually you're self-employed rather than an owner of a business. You're still employed by the business. You still can't get that freedom you want. You've actually got less freedom than if you had a job, because you've got all these other responsibilities. And the answer to that is, what we've been talking about is filtration. So, throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month going forward, have a look at your business, your processes, your marketing, your sales, who you're speaking to, what activities you're doing, type of clients you're working with, the type of fees you're working for. What would happen if you filter some of those out? If you're going to drop the bottom 10%, 20% of activities or clients or whatever, giving you more time to get better and higher quality clients, what would that look like? Again, if you want help with this, if you go to www.makemoreplacements.com/apply, there's a short letter there about, what we do, how we help our clients. Have a read of that. If it's something that interests you, then you can follow the instructions on that page. That's www.makemoreplacements.com/apply.
And if you're listening to this on Facebook, please drop a comment and let us know. If you listen to recording this on the podcast or on YouTube or iTunes or wherever it is, please remember to subscribe and leave a review. And make sure you join our group on Facebook, which is Make More Placements Community on Facebook. And there you're going to get more videos, more training material that help you generate more leads, make more placements, and earn more money. So if you're an owner or director of a recruitment research firm, join us on the group, listen to our podcast, subscribe, and please leave a review. Cheers, Drew.
Okay, guys, I'll see you soon.
Until next time, take care, take action, and be relentless. Cheers, folks.